Alrighty. I'm about ready to do a video. I just want to make sure that I can get the floor here where I'm going to be showing my feet. And I'm going to use the wheelchair in a minute for the video. Let's go pull it out first. Just as far as it goes in. Okay, so I'm Brian McComas, and this video is going to be about Wing Chun and footwork. So please bear with me. I'm going to go over this really fast. This video is not for beginners. This video is not for somebody who does not have somebody physically instructing them in Wing Chun or has never been physically instructed in Wing Chun. Why? Wing Chun is one of the martial arts out there that you cannot learn properly from videos or from books, including this video. It doesn't matter how much I go over something. You may be doing it wrong. No matter how much I go over a video of what not to do and what to do, you could be doing it wrong, and if you do it wrong and practice it wrong, you will perform it wrong. We see that with a lot of the punches, the chain punches especially, where people are lifting the shoulders. This is something very hard to get over, because we come from all kinds of other different martial arts in the world where they're always using the arm. And the boxers, they're using the shoulder muscle, they're using the muscle arm. In Wing Chun, we use the legs. I have heard it said before that boxers focus on their footwork when they're punching, and I've heard it said before by some Wing Chun practitioners that the Wing Chun practitioner focuses on the elbow. That is incorrect. The beginning student focuses on the elbow. How do I know that and how can I prove that? Because when you learn Wing Chun and you get down into your YEE Kim Young Ma form, the very first thing that you're learning besides the YEE Kim Young Ma is the punch, starting with the left hand. And you are told by your instructor all the time to lower the shoulder muscles. The shoulder is to swivel. They should be telling you this. Your shoulder is not to lift at all. The elbow is to be within this area, the immovable elbow area. And when you punch, you come up from the elbow. Now they're telling you this at first. So when someone says that a Wing Chun practitioner is focusing on their elbows as they punch, this is only a beginner in Wing Chun. This is only someone who basically has very basic understanding of Wing Chun. I don't care if they've had 20 years in Wing Chun. If they say that, it shows they don't understand where the power comes from, and that's from the ground and the footwork. How do I prove that? Because there's no Wing Chun person out there who will tell you that as you get down in YEE Kim Young Ma, when you're shifting, or when you're stepping, or when you're just taking off and you're firing your arms out, they are going to tell you to focus on your elbow. Make sure your shoulders are dropped. Make sure your shoulder only swivels. In other words, I should just be swiveling my arm back and forth. That's all my shoulder does. It's just to go here. It is not to cock up. It is not to cock out. It's not to do that. You see that shoulder? It is to stay in place. And some instructors will tell you to put your shoulder back as you fire so that you're pushing your hips out in your form and you're pulling in your knees at your legs, so that as you fire out, you're pulling your shoulder back. And that is to get you to stop pushing your shoulder out. So as you learn more and more Wing Chun, and you understand the first form, and you've got the first form down, and you get advanced into the first form, and you understand more stuff, because let's face it, the first form is a matrix of information. There is so much information on that basic first form, it's insane. It looks simple, it looks easy, it's the basic ABCs of Wing Chun, but there's so much in it. So as you learn Wing Chun and you've learned to fire from your elbows, you later learn to fire from the ground by sucking in the knees, by making sure that at some times you are shifting and at other times you are pushing off that rear leg. So therefore your punches become kicks. I pushed off this one, now fired from the opposite hand. An advanced Wing Chun person will think as they're firing that it is a kick because you are pulling and driving up energy from the ground in an upward 45-degree angle. The only exception to that is if when you're chain punching and you're coming down, okay, which will be coming straight. Now at this time, I'm still lowering myself and I'm still powering in. So the basic Wing Chun practitioner, I don't care if he's had 20 years, we got examples of Bruce Lee. We know that Bruce Lee was a great athlete. He was a hell of a fighter. He only understood the first form of Wing Chun. He never moved to the second or the third. He never did any of it. He was never taught it. Therefore, he did not understand a ton of concepts of Wing Chun. And this is why he thought Wing Chun did not have answers for situations. This is why he said, let's make a theory of pulling in everything that works and setting it in stone, and that's where Jeet Kune Do come from. Jeet Kune Do is literally the baby of someone who did not understand Wing Chun. Sorry guys, yes, Bruce Lee was a badass, he was an athlete, but he didn't understand all the things. You can see his Jeet Kune Do theory books of how he's implementing new fighting techniques, and he says in some of them, under the comments, that Wing Chun does not have an answer for this, so Jeet Kune Do does. He's created it. He's incorrect on that. There are so many things within Wing Chun that people don't understand. The only thing that Wing Chun does not deal with, technically, is grappling, period. But that's why you go to Chin Na. Kung Fu is not meant to stay in one system and leave it at that. If you are taking Tiger, you should learn how to grapple and do bone breaking techniques, not just from your Tiger Kung Fu, but from your Chin Na. You are to incorporate different aspects of the Kung Fu. Alright, so a Wing Chun practitioner should learn Chin Na. You should learn it. You should learn some form of grappling. Wing Chun's going to save your ass when you're standing up and fighting multiple opponents or one person. That's it. Wing Chun is not. You can apply some of the Wing Chun on the ground, but Wing Chun does not literally have forms, techniques, and things that to deal with somebody who grapples you. Why? Because in those days, someone was literally considered a coward when they grappled like that. They were considered fighting like a girl. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is technically glorified judo, they have created this idea of rushing in and doing a sacrifice throw. In original Jiu-Jitsu, your sacrifice throw was literally a no-no. A sacrifice throw was any time you were standing on your 2 feet, your opponent is standing on his 2 feet, and you take him down or throw him, and you either go to one knee or all the way on the ground. It doesn't matter. Now, if it's a counter, you can do sacrifice throws. In other words, somebody comes in and they grab me and I grab them, and they come in and they hit throw me. If I grab them and I swing around and I throw them and I've landed on the floor and I'm sideways, like taking a fall, kicking both my feet out here, throwing them, that is my sacrifice to their counter hip throw. Within the Bushido code of Jiu-Jitsu, I've not done a sacrifice throw. The other guy tried to just throw me, and I countered him by doing a sacrifice shoulder throw. So Wing Chun does not have answers to grappling. It just doesn't. That's why you've got to go into Chin Na. That's why you've got to look into the grappling. Grappling, in all seriousness, is a new system of fighting. Other than even Roman Greco wrestling is very, very different from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. With Roman-style wrestling, you can still fight the guy standing up to a point. He's going to come in and still close the gap. You can still defeat him with Wing Chun, but a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsuist or somebody who's really good at Judo, they're going to kamikaze in, they're going to take the hits that you give them, and they're going to sacrifice their position, their balance to throw you. In Wing Chun, we learn that balance is everything, and speed is everything. Wing Chun is literally the snake and the crane. I always have to keep my balance, and that's the crane, and I attack the enemy's balance, and I use speed. So the speed is the snake, the balance is the crane, alright? And there's other aspects of that, but that's the basics. So when somebody's trying to understand how crane style fits into Wing Chun, it's because we are attacking them by taking space. We are attacking them by always going forward and being aggressive. Now, if you're not an aggressive Wing Chun practitioner, you are what we call a basic practitioner. Even when I'm backing up, I'm still firing. Even when someone's coming in and I'm moving and they're shooting over here now and I'm shifting to hit here and then they move over here, I'm still shifting, and if I can get in, I want to close that gap. I want to put the pressure on them. If your Wing Chun does not put pressure on the other person, it's crap Wing Chun, period. Wing Chun is literally designed to be aggressive. Every move is an attack. You are told this from day one. Your Pak, your Tan, hell, even your Quan. You can still come in and crash into a guy on a Quan, and once you've hit, you've already opened that up. You're stealing his balance. You are attacking his balance. You have to change the way you think. And this is why Wing Chun cannot be learned by a video or a book. So, anyways, why do we do the Yi Ji Kim Young Ma? Here's where we're going. When you learn the Yi Ji Kim Young Ma, you learn to drop your weight, alright? And you learn to suck in your knees and put a little bit of a pressure towards the floor in a triangular point, almost as if you have a third leg connected. In other words, I'm leaning on this invisible third leg in front of me. This is a Man Sao Wu Sao. You do not open up your Yi Ji Kim Young Ma from heel to foot to heel. There are some traditions that do this. There's reasons why you don't do this. Number one, it's an extra step. Number two, if I open from the front, I can already drop my weight. I've already got pressure on my knees, but it's pointed out this way. So as I turn, now it's pointed in this way. If I do this, opening from the back, my knees collide. I can only drop my weight so much, and it forces my butt out too much. So now you do pop your, you want to suck your hip in just a little bit, okay? You're going for it just a little bit. And you do this so you get that pull of your knees. It's going to feel awkward at first, but again, this is not for the basic Wing Chunner. When you drop down to Yi Ji Kim Young Ma, the reason that this is so important, why do we learn Yi Ji Kim Young Ma? I don't hear very many instructors explain it. This is your measuring tool. So that later on, as you're learning to step, or you're learning to take these bigger, wider steps, you can use your Yi Ji Kim Young Ma to measure twice, cut once. If you're a carpenter, you know that expression. Let's say that this wheelchair is the center line of a person, okay? So, if I'm facing them, if I drop down to Yi Ji Kim Young Ma, and I'm facing their center, and I'm face-to-face theory, center line to center line theory, those are two different things. I can be over here and be center line, my center line to his center line, but I'm not face to face with him. In other words, his face would be aiming that way. This is still my center line to his center line, but he is in the wrong now. He's not face to face. Wing Chun wants to try to do two things. Always center line to center line, face to face. So in other words, if I'm here and I'm fighting this guy and I shift, and now I'm over here, if I go down and I stop and I go to Yi Ji Kim Young Ma, I should be still pointed right at his center. My footwork should be fine. So in other words, if I am at the Yi Ji Kim Young Ma, pointed at him, Man Sao Wu Sao, my triangle is perfect with my feet. It's pointed right at him, at his center line, okay? Triangle. If I take a wide step over here and I turn and I place my back foot and I'm here to hit him and attack him at his center line, all I should be able to do is take one step forward with one foot, turn that knee in a little bit, and I should be doing the Yi Ji Kim Young Ma from this position. If I have to move 2 feet, in other words, then I've done something wrong. My stepping is incorrect. Another way we can explain this so that the camera can see is if I get down in Yi Ji Kim Young Ma and I have a person right here in front of me, you can see my triangle is right here. If I step over here and I'm here and I'm attacking this guy and he's right here, I should be able, from this position where my foot is, to put one foot here and still be center line and still look like I'm in the Yi Ji Kim Young Ma. If I have to step and then readjust and readjust to get that triangle, well, be here, to get that triangular point, then my stepping is wrong. So when you're learning Yi Ji Kim Young Ma, you're learning this as a measurement tool so that later on, as you're stepping and you're firing, I should be able to scoot one leg up and bam, Yi Ji Kim Young Ma. If I had, let me try to do it wrong. If I'm in Yi Ji Kim Young Ma and I step let's say I'm doing this and I'm fighting. Now my legs are open, my knees are spread out. There's no way that I can take one step and shift one foot and be in YEE Kim Young Ma. In other words, this would be the step, that'd be the shift. Now the other foot is screwed up. It's facing this way, right? We're not attacking a guy here, we're attacking a guy here. So I'd have to squeeze, or I'd actually have to step out a little bit and then turn. So now my YEE Kim Young Ma is good. But I've had to do 4 moves to get the YEE Kim Young Ma. You should be able to do 2 moves. 1 step, 1 shift of the foot. In other words, when I'm talking about shift, I'm talking about turning at the heel, pointing the toe. It should be 2 moves to get the YEE Kim Young Ma from their center. So if I'm here and some guy is right here at my side and I'm in this position, the easiest way is to step back, step forward. 2 moves. 2. Bam, bam. I didn't have to shift. I just did 2 steps. My YEE Kim Young Ma is now facing the guy. Now let's say he attacks me and I move. And now he's still in front of me. Let's say that he comes around here and tries to hook me because he sees there's more of an opening on my right hand. So he's shot over here and he's trying to hook me. I want to go here. Now, from this position, I'm almost already doing the YEE Kim Young Ma. I'm already doing it. I don't have to move. So your YEE Kim Young Ma is used in split seconds during a real fight. I hear people say you don't ever really fight like this. There's going to be split seconds when you do. You're moving around. You're moving around. You don't know what's going to go on. You're shifting. Your YEE Kim Young Ma should be turned once. Bam. That's all it is. In other words, I should not shift or step and shift and then step and shift in order to get into it. That is why you learn YEE Kim Young Ma, and I don't see any videos on YouTube, none, explaining the YEE Kim Young Ma and the measurement. So again, you're getting down in YEE Kim Young Ma, you're doing the triangular point, your opponent is right in front of you. Your YEE Kim Young Ma should be face to face. In other words, you should be face to where their face is. In other words, they're not facing the camera, an invisible person, okay? Let's use this this is my nephew's basketball hoop thingy, but I took off the hoop. I was going to use it just in case. So let's say I'm facing this guy and I'm already in the YEE Kim Young Ma. You don't start off the fight like this, though. That should be common sense. This is just for measuring, guys. So if I move off to here, all I should be able to do is take 1 small step and shift, and my YEE Kim Young Ma is center to their center, and I'm facing their side. His face is this way now. What he would want to do as a Wing Chun practitioner is shoot over here to my 45-degree angle. Now he's facing me, and he wants to try to get off shots. In other words, I'm here. What I have to do is either step back, and I have to block, and look, 1 shift, I'm already in YEE Kim Young Ma. But I've got my arm out here for extra protection and weight. You'll learn the footwork if you have a good instructor. What you won't learn, at least on YouTube, is why we do the YEE Kim Young Ma. Because let's face it, the YEE Kim Young Ma looks stupid. When you come from other martial arts and you're learning all these stances, even if you're doing like the cat stance from Taekwondo, you come in and you learn Wing Chun and you're like, all right, why are we doing it? I can't fight like this. This is silly. This is a measurement tool. It's also meant so that when you're practicing your drills, and your drills are to be done slow. When you're practicing your drills, you're also working out your legs, because this is almost like a horse stance. If you do Wing Chun, then you shouldn't be afraid of leg day. Every day you do Wing Chun should be leg day. The entire time you're practicing, you want to try to stay in YEE Kim Young Ma or your stances for at least 15 minutes straight. Okay? Even if your instructor will stop talking, try to stay this, because what it does is it puts pressure on those muscles. Get those knees to suck in. Don't drop down to YEE Kim Young Ma and then stand up like every 30 seconds. You're not going to feel that pain. You want to focus when you're first learning Wing Chun. You're focusing on your arms, what to do. You're focusing on your elbows, your shoulders. Later on, you're going to learn to shoot power from your hips and from the floor. So you're shooting from the floor. You're pulling this energy up. Again, a lot of Wing Chun practitioners say that the power is coming from our elbows, and when we're firing, we're focused on our elbows. No, 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 no. When you first learn Wing Chun, you are focusing on your elbows and your shoulders. You're making sure that your stuff is not out of whack. You want to make sure that you're pulling from the elbow. In other words, if I'm here, it's like somebody pushes my elbow. Alright? You want to make sure your elbow is within the immovable elbow area, which is a little small circle here, a little small orb. You've got, the way that, most people don't understand that, I'll go over that really, really quick. Fook is the most inward towards your center elbow position. There's Fook, then there's Tan, then there's Pak. Okay, now Pak is the furthest out. So from your Pak to your Fook, that's the area. You're not moving your elbow that much. So you're from here to here, from here all the way to here. Okay, so that's you want your elbow on Fook is nipple line. In other words, we have a center line, but we also have two nipple lines. If you're punching, you want your elbow in the same position, almost as your Fook at the nipple line, because your Fook can become a punch. Your punch can become a Fook. So I'm relaxed. Now Fook doesn't have to look like this or this. It's a verb. So it's relaxed. You're bridging. You're relaxed. You're bridging. So your footwork is every punch you do, every move you do. When you punch, it should feel like a kick. You should be thinking kick. I mean, to me, that's my whole body weight. I mean, I might as well be doing something like that into the gut. You know, well, the classical Wing Chun kick is to pull your foot up and shoot it up without exposing the knee. In other words, we don't lift our knee and then kick. All right, we don't do in jiu-jitsu and karate. We don't do this and then fire. We don't do that. We want to try to get it up there, and it's to push the person off or to temporarily hurt him. Now, yeah, if you shoot in, you're going to kick him kind of hard, but I want to get in close to where I can pummel him. Yi Ji Kim Ming Ma is important for all this. Don't skip Yi Ji Kim Ming Ma. A lot of people seem to skip it. They don't want to learn it. They want to go straight to this fancy footwork. They want to go straight to this stuff, doing these drills. Even when you're doing these drills slow, okay? And they want to do all the stuff where you're turning backwards, and they skip Yi Ji Kim Ming Ma. The problem is, if you don't understand how to do Yi Ji Kim Ming Ma, you're not going to be able to fire here. From this position, all I need to do is pull one leg up and tilt it. And I'm already in my Yi Ji Kim Ming Ma. That's how you test to make sure your footwork was okay. In other words, if I step out goofy and I do this, the other leg's wrong. The camera can't see it, but the other leg's wrong. I now have to take a small step forward with the other leg and shift it. That's 4 steps. You should only be doing 2. The reason that we want to be in these positions is so that if the guy hits me, I either retreat with good balance, or I can hold on to it and I'm applying it to my back rear leg with my hands by holding or something. Whether I've punched and I've collided and I'm holding his weight through my rear leg. This is something that you learn, and you're going to have to learn it from an instructor. You can't learn it off of books, you can't learn it off videos. I don't care how many videos you see. You'll never learn this. This is why we have so many frauds on YouTube. This is why we have people like Jake Mace, who's sitting there doing tan like he's doing a quan or a gon. He does tan like this. That's not tan. The verb of tan is to come up. You're dispersing energy so that when you're shooting in, you're coming in, but you're parrying and dispersing that energy. You're allowing it to shoot off. It should be glancing off of you. You're not colliding with it with strength. You are on gon, or on quan a little bit, okay? But that's where you have to get more advanced, and you have to feel that incoming pressure. You have to get good with it, and like once you've made contact, you're like, oh, he's too strong. Maybe I want to shift a little bit more. Okay, I don't want to sit there and collide into somebody, and he's so strong he breaks my structure and pulls me off balance. No, 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 no. I either come in and say he hits me, and I put it on that rear leg, or I turn more. And now, here's the Yi Ji Kim Ming Ma. 1 step forward, 1 shift, Ta-da! That's why we learn YEUNG Kim Ma. It is for strengthening the legs while we're practicing our movements. In other words, I'm doing something with my arms. Now I'm going to shift, but I'm still working out the legs. Okay? So as you're doing this, you're practicing footwork, you're practicing leg work while you're firing off the arms. So that's why YEUNG Kim Ma is so important. I had to go over this basic thing on YEUNG Kim Ma before I do anything else. I know I've talked a lot on this video. I hope you all like it. Like and subscribe, please. If you got to the end of this video, just say, thanks, Brian, for the video, okay? Or say great video in the comments section so that I know that you watched it. So again, your YEUNG Kim Ma is triangular point, and you're learning to fire off, but if you step and you shift, it should be YEUNG Kim Ma again. In other words, if he's facing me and he fires a really, really quick jab, and I want to take one step back, and I pulled one leg back, and I've popped to block that jab, he's already pulled his hand back. All I have to do is step up, turn, my YEUNG Kim Ma. Okay? It's measure twice, cut once. So we're thinking we measure twice with our YEUNG Kim Ma, and our cut is our action. Okay? So as you're moving and you're getting this footwork in, and whatever you're doing, you want to make sure your YEUNG Kim Ma is right there. Now, if the guy was right here, perfect YEUNG Kim Ma. Camera can't see it, but so again, wherever your footwork is, if you're too tight on a rope, I'm too tight. My legs are way too together. There is no possible way that I can move one leg up and turn it and get a YEUNG Kim Ma without moving the other leg. In other words, I have to step over, turn. That's 3 movements. Okay. Don't ever be on a tightrope. This is what we call tightrope. In other words, my feet are together too much. Yeah, I know that people were talking about the 90-10. You should be able to lift your leg. Don't do that, guys. That only comes in play within a millisecond of a real fight or a real sparring match. A millisecond. The majority of the time, you're 50-50. You're 50-50. Yeah, there's going to be times when you're 60-30 because now, now I'm 60-30 or I'm more than that as I fire it off because I'm pushing that weight from that back leg, but then I'm dropping somewhere around 60-30 or 50-50 at the end. So you're constantly moving your shit and shifting your weight. You're never always 50-50. You're never always 60-30. You're moving back and forth. You want to try to be 50-50 the majority of the time because as we walk normal and we stop, we're 50-50. Nobody walks normally and then is just like la 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 all the way on one leg. Nobody does that. You walk normal. You're 60-30 when you're about right here because I've not fully put my weight there. But when you stop, you're 50-50. So all this weight dispersion is it's a distraction. Always be 50-50 when you end any move, period. You're 60-30 at times, like now I'm leaning too far back. Okay, but then I've caught myself, I'm unbalanced, maybe I want to shoot forward. Now I'm 50-50. So at the end of the move, you want to try to be 50-50. During the fight, during the sparring match, you're going to be all over the place. Your weight's going to be distributed because you're learning how to take these steps. Okay? You're learning how to take these steps. And one really good drill to practice once you get to YEUNG Kim Ma is 45-degree angles back and forth. In other words, my center line is in front. I want to go 45-degree angle forward here, but then I want to shift 45-degree angle over here, so I step, and I'm here. I'm in the YEUNG Kim Ma now. I go back over here, YEUNG Kim Ma. Let's say, what if I want to back up? What if the guy's coming in here and I need to do a 45-degree angle looking over this way, but I need to back up? I back up. Now, for a second, I was 60-30 because I'm backing up. Now I'm 50-50. You can't see that on video, though, guys. It's so hard to see. Same thing with Chi Sao. When somebody's rolling, you can't see how they're applying everything and their pressure through a video. You can see bone structure and elbow structure, and you can tell somebody's doing it wrong from there. But you can't tell if somebody's doing it hard or they're pushing. You can't tell if they're pushing down or up, if they're jumping. You can't tell it when they're just going forward. The guy might be pushing in here. I might be going down a little bit. I might be going in. I might be going up. You can't tell from a video. You can tell the bone structure in the elbow, if it's out of the immovable elbow, if the shoulders are tense. You don't want to do that. You can tell things like that, but you can't tell the forward intent from a video. You have to touch hands, and you have to roll with the guy in order to feel him and know where he's at. He could be touching here and pushing down slightly, and you don't see that on a video. I might want to jut while I'm pushing him, or while I'm punching him. But your footwork with the YEUNG is measure twice, cut once. Okay? Learn to do 45-degree angles here and here. The reason you do that is because when you're fighting, another Wing Chuner isn't going to want to come through your front center line, main gate. They're going to want to shift over here and hit you from the side, so that it's harder for you to tam. So that now you got to move. Okay? In other words, I'm fighting a guy in front of me and he shifts over, whoa, over here. I have to make sure my footwork is good so that I can take that pressure, apply it into that back leg. And again, one step forward and shift. YEUNG. That's what it's for, guys. Measure twice, cut once.